सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। We continue our study of Vivekachudamani in this section of self-knowledge and its beauty, as this section Pujya Gurudev calls it. The glory of Atma Vidya and what it is for is what we have been seeing. So we'll continue shloka number 59. Avijñāte pare tattve shastradhitistu nishphala विज्ञाते पिपरे तत्वे शास्त्राधीस्तिस्तु निष्फला. What a beautiful thought which is presented over here, that it says pare tattve avijñāte. Pare tattve, the highest self, the higher self, pare tattve avijñāte. If that self is not known, then shastra adhitis tu nishphala. Shastra adhyanan adhiti tu nishphala. It has bared no fruits if we do not come to realize that self. So then the second line, the thought says vijñāte api pare tattve. Pare tattve vijñāte api. And when this higher self is realized, vijñāte meaning having realized, pare tattve shastra adhitistu nishphala. The study of shastra is nishphala. It is bearing no fruits. What is it to study Shastra when the very subject matter of Shastra is realized? Then Shastra cannot do anything. Whatever teaching the Shastra has taught us we came to not just understand it but stand under it, like Gurudev used to say, realizing that truth. After realizing, what good is a Shastra? Shastrai kim prayojanam? What can, the study of Shastra, what will that do? And then the converse is avijñāte pare tattve. But one studies Shastra, so much time and effort has been put to study Shastra, again avijñāte, the subject matter absolute Brahman is not realized. Then what's the point in studying Shastra if we don't realize? And what's the point in studying Shastra if this is realized? So the uniqueness of this Atma Vidya is you take Shastra as crutches to hold on to Shastra, just like a pole vaulter who takes the pole, runs, then he fixes the pole onto the ground and pushes himself up into the air just to cover the bamboo which determines the high jump. And once he has cleared onto the other side, he tosses the bamboo away, the pole that he is using to do the vault. So in the same way, we take the Shastra, we learn from a guru, we follow the rules of Shastra, the sadhana presented by it, not just the upasana, the karma, the upasana, and the jnana, ultimately the knowledge. When knowledge dawns in a pure antakarana, purified by karma yoga and upasana, Ishwar upasana, when it is purified, such a person, what is the use of Shastra? But if the one studies Shastra, karma yoga has been heard but it is not practiced, upasana has been learned but there is no practice, then in the absence of karma yoga, in the absence of upasana, there is no sattva shuddhi of antakarana. And if the purity of the antakarana is not there, where will be the fruit of the study of Brahma Vidya? It will still be avijñāte pare tattve. It is not realized. So this particular shloka talks about the importance of doing sadhana to realize. So many people take Shastra and I want to study this, I want to study that, I want to get just checkpoints are just done with all different types of textbooks. Oh, I have studied this. You have not studied it? Oh, I have mastered this, memorized this. See, the mastery of a subject matter only bears fruits if we are one with the subject matter. But if that subject matter and I are ever separated, then it bears no fruits. Thus, it is so important that one unites with the subject matter of Shastra, and for that one need not study everything. Just Prasthanatrayi, few Upanishads properly, Bhagavad Gita, studying it continuously and having the bhagya of hearing the Badarayana Sutra from a guru and having a clear understanding of the garland of the aphorisms presented in the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, when that is properly understood and it is retained on the inner kingdom of buddhi, and that buddhi with this understanding guides the adhikari, the student, through proper vairagya, proper vivek shakti, proper vairagya, sense control, mind control, etc., etc., when the study itself bears the fruit of creating adhikaritva, then the dawn of knowledge is just a little detail that needs to be fulfilled. Bas. This is what is talked about over here, to erase out the ahankar and to continuously hold on to this study is what is very, very important. Continuing, Shabdajalam maharanyam chitta brahmara karanam ataf prayatnad jnatavyam tatvagnais tatvamatmanah. Shabdajala maharanyam, this great forest of words. Who is saying this? A great Jnani of Shankaracharya ji. There are Pandits who get caught up into doing Shastrarth and Vad and so Vad, Vivad and everything, for the sake of the display of Panditya. All of this is just a great web of words. Jala, Shabda, Shabdasya Jalam. This web of just words, meaning Shastra. Study, 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 study. Yes, that buddhi, if it takes on to that study, that is fantastic. But the buddhi has to be led to realization, not more and more and more and more study, because this will create Shastra Vasana, another Vasana. We have to know when to drop it. Chitta Brahmara Karanam, it is a cause for just absolute confusion for the mind. Chitta Brahmana Karanam, Ataha, therefore, Tattvajnaihi, the wise ones, the ones who are knowers, Tattvajnaihi, the true seekers of Brahman, Prayatnat Atmanah Tattvam Jnatavyam. Prayatnat, with great effort, Atmanah, this higher self, Tattvam, the essence of that, Jnatavyam, may one come to know this Atma Tattva. This knowledge of the self is not just a book knowledge, but it is to be lived. It is to be lived. May one come to break asunder all bondages with clear understanding of one's own purpose. What is my purpose? Having understood the purpose of study of Shastra, may one hold on to that and realize when to put the Shastra on the side so that Mananam and Nididhyasan can continue. clear understanding has to dawn. Shravanam removes, ajnana. Mananam, after study, reflecting upon it, removes shamshayaha, the doubts. And nitaram dhyatum ichha, this deep meditative reflection, it removes all our tendencies, these vasanas. It removes all our tendencies to get into pluralistic world. It burns away our subtle tendencies. Assertion of Shastra should continue, and positively negating the prapancha experience, that also has to continue. Yugapad, both together. Anytime my mind gets afflicted by any type of situation caused by people, objects, etc., any modification of anger, of desire, we should catch the mind right there and there and try to diffuse. The very power of mind has to be diffused, and the energy of this mind has to be led to Prajwalit Buddhi, which says Brahma Satyam. It also says Jagan Mithya. So, when the mind goes towards Mithyavi Jagat, it is ever reminded, just like a person puts on a coating of oil before the hand goes into a jackfruit, in the same way, this Tattva Jnanam, the oil of Tattva Jnan is applied before the mind wanders into the pluralistic world. In this way, very important that we don't create Shastra Vasana. This study of Shastra is very unique. The more we study, especially if the Buddhi is inclined to study, the more we want to study. The more we want to study, the more we get into this study. And then that alone becomes our purpose. We should be very clear. The purpose is to realize the self, bas. That is it. So that is very nicely put by Shankaracharya ji over here. Continuing. Ajnana sarpadashtasya brahmajnanaushadam vina kimu vedaischa shastraischa kimu mantrai kimaushadhaihi. So, ajnana sarpa dashtasya, the cobra, the snake of ignorance, when it has bitten, dashtasya brahmajnana aushadam vina, without the knowledge, the medicine of this Brahmajnan, the poison of the cobra of ignorance will not go. The poison of the cobra of ignorance the only antidote to that poison is Brahmagyan. Shuddha Brahmagyan, Kevala Gyan is the only thing that can remove the poison of the cobra of plurality, the cobra of avidya. Then Kimu Vedaischa, then what is the point of what can Vedas do? Vedas are filled with Jiva Brahma Aikya Bodh, but that Bodh is not assimilated. Then what can Vedas do? Shastraischa, what can all different types of Smruti, what can Smruti do? Shruti is talked about, Vedaischa, Shastraischa. So Shruti, Smruti, Kimu Mantraihi. So Tantra, all the different tantric mantras, this, that, what can they do? Oshadhaihi, different types of, what medicines can we take? There is no medicine for the poison of Ajnana. There is no medicine for this. Shastra cannot do anything, Vedas cannot do anything. How many mantra japas? Gurudev used to say that mantra which is chanted by the mind, and that mind is right along with the mantra, that mantra alone bears fruit of cleansing this mind. But if that mind is preoccupied by something else, the chanting of the Vedas, the chanting of the Smruti Granthas, the chanting of the mantras, it will be some karma, that's all. Punyam also, we wonder if punyam is going to be acquired, because as yathamati tathagati. So if the mind is still crooked or something like that, how can we even acquire blessings of Shastra? So Kim Vedaischa, Kim Shastraischa, Kim Mantraischa, Kim Aushadhaihi. What can all of these things do? In this way, it is talked about over here. Liberation, shlokas 62 through 66. Direct experience alone is what is so important. Without this direct experience, we will not be able to, and over here, even the word experience, that means it is usually experience is, it is of an object. But over here, it is not the objective experience which is talked about. And the language also has limitations. What is actually meant over here is Tattva Jnana. Abidance in Brahman is what is known as direct experience. Not the experience that we have of the pluralistic world. It is not an objective experience, it is the very subjective presence, and that subjective presence is positively known as I am awareness. That is called direct experience. When I have known and I know it every waking moment that I am awareness, I am Chaitanya, and me, the Chaitanya, is the Chaitanya in all, and me, the Chaitanya, is a Satvastu, and as a Satvastu, it is the Adhishthan of Prapanch. Not only does it uphold my Prapanch, but it upholds Ananta Koti Brahmanda Prapanch. each one of these lokas it upholds. Its satta is, it is. And that Chaitanya, Chideva natu vastu upalabhyate. It is not some object to be acquired, but it is Chideva. I am consciousness alone. That is what is referred to over here as direct experience, liberation. Nagacchati vina panam vyadhiraushada shabdatah vina aparokshanubhavam brahma shabdairna muchyate. So, Vyadihi meaning affliction, some disease, some pain. So, Vyadihi vina panam aushadaha, this disease without taking the medicine, nagachati, it doesn't go. Shabdataha, it is saying we don't take medicine, but I do akhanda japa of medicine. Aushadaha shabdataha, meaning, this is my medicine. This is my medicine. This is my medicine. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the dabbis are also one by one it is put in all 7-day medicine box, but it is not taken vina panam, but we get it from the pharmacy, open the bottle, and then we just put it in day after day after day and do japa with that medicine. There is no magic that will cure this disease. Medicine has to be taken. In the same way, vina aparoksha anubhavam, without direct experience, aparoksha. So, there is pratyaksha praman, paroksha praman, and then there is aparoksha praman. So, direct perception, pratyaksha, then anuman praman, that A equals B, B equals C, so A equals C. So, something like that. Smoke is seen and it is inferred, there must be fire over there. Fire is not seen, only smoke is seen. So, etc. We can use logic and try to understand that can. And then Shabda Praman, Shastra also says, but it is just a Praman. Having learned it, I have to now assimilate it. So this aparoksha anubhuti is when there is no dependence on any one of the 5 senses, nor is there dependence on the logic of the buddhi, nor is there any dependence on mana buddhi complex. But this mana buddhi, having understood Shastra Praman, that buddhi goes in search of the Atma within, as per how it is guided by Shastra of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan. The buddhi meditates And the buddhi even dissolves itself. And all of a sudden, the buddhi, it realizes, oh, I already am this. How stupid I was that I didn't know who I was to begin with. I already am. I ever am. That awareness is known in that split second of stillness and purity of this antakarana, and that inside knowledge where the buddhi now knows, that is aparoksha jnanam, without any aid of any instrument of knowing. It destroys itself in the process, because the buddhi is also born out of matter. But after all, that is the only equipment of knowing. So after it is destroyed, a little wee bit of it comes back, and in it reflects the whole thing. And in that reflection, I have known that I am not the reflection, I am the original light to begin with. And when that leap is made from that little piece of antakarana to the infinite self, that over here is referred to as aparoksha jnanam. Then over here, Brahma shabdaihi na muchyate. And just by repeating, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, we don't get liberated. But upon assimilating and washing off hordes of sin accumulated of this antakarana, that alone creates a bhagya, a destiny for aparoksha jnanam. That is what is mentioned over here, that just by memorizing Upanishads, memorizing Gita, yes, I know it, yes, I know it, that is also an added weight to the buddhi, that I know even this much more as compared to the next door person. A perfect opportunity for jealousy to arise. This person knows, but this person does not know. And there is this comparison. So that is not proper over here. When the study results in a karma yoga, upasana, proper assimilation of knowledge in this jnana marg, and the antakarana comes to abide in it, that alone is aparoksha. Otherwise, shastra is just paroksha. Somebody else has seen it, I have not seen it. I have understood what somebody has seen it. Meaning, I have understood that the rishi has seen it, but I have not seen it. I understand Yama Dharmaraj, what he is saying. Paroksha Jnana, Kathopanishad. I understand what Nachiketa understood. Paroksha Jnana. But when I come to assimilate the teaching of Kathopanishad, I realize in me is both Yama and Nachiketa. I am that. This is aparoksha jnanam. Akrutva drushya vilayam ajñatva tattvamatmanah bahya shabdai kuto muktihi uktimatra phalai nrunam. So over here, drushya vilayam, drushya, the seen world of plurality, drushya prapanch vilayam, the dissolving of that, akrutva, so without achieving this, the dissolving of the prapanch, ajñatva atmanah tattvam ajñatva, one has not understood the Atma Tattvam. So without achieving, Gurudev says, the disappearance of the entire pluralistic world, and without realizing the real nature of the self, kutaha brahma shabdaihi muktihi uktamatram drunam. Just by saying I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, how can that bear fruit? When a person keeps on saying, yes, I am Brahman, nothing touches me, nothing touches me, but that person is filled with fear, uncertainty about the next moment. Why? Because the drushya prapanch is very much alive, and the fear is of the second. The second is drushya prapanch. So it is not badit, it is not negated. If it is not negated, it is very much alive. If it is very much alive, it is a cause of my fear. This type of properly taking Shastra and dissolving all types of mental modifications and working with Atma Jnana that yes, I am Brahman, but how is this Brahman? The support. And how is it that this world is illusion? If even a wee bit of world is real, if even a wee bit of this world's reality is ascertained, fear is there, desire is there. Jagati Satya Buddhi. If I say that the world is real, then I do Shobhana Dhyas on that world. I do a deliberate superimpositioning that it is capable of giving me joy and happiness. But there is no joy, there is no happiness in the pluralistic world, because the pluralistic world is fleeting. The joy is fleeting. The happiness is fleeting. And my fear is when it goes, Ayyo, Sadhe has now arrived. Ayyo, Rahu, Mahadasha, 19 years of suffering. All of this, we continuously create the reality on the outside. The inside is in fear, continuous fear. So that is what this shloka is saying, that ukti matra brahma shabdaihi, just prattling the words of Shruti, brahma shabdaihi nrunam, of the person, muktim kutaha, where is mukti? it's a rhetorical question that Shankaracharya ji poses, that without the effort put in to dissolve the prapanch, without the effort put in to realize the self, just by prattling aham brahman, aham brahma, aham brahma, brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi, it does nothing. It does nothing. So akrutva shastru samharam agatva khila bhushriyam raja ahamiti shabda no raja muk bhavitum arhati. So Shatru samhara akrutva, without conquering the enemy. Shatru, enemy, samhara, conquering, destroying, akrutva, not doing that. And then agatva akhila bhushriyam, and having not brought together the entire sovereign kingdom. The king has not protected the kingdom. He has not brought the kingdom under his sovereign power. Just by shabda matrena, by saying I am the king, I am the king, I am the king, and not doing any of these things, Raja bhavati bhavitum arhati, you don't become a king just by saying I am a king. To say that I am a king of a kingdom, the whole kingdom has to be protected. The enemies of that kingdom has to be conquered. People have to be granted safety. Things have to be provided in the kingdom. Justness has to prevail over the jurisdiction. All of those things are the duties of the king. Prajanam paripalanam, to protect the people. And you protect by getting rid of the enemies and by making sure objects are available, people are happy, people feel safe, crime is gotten rid of, etc., etc. All of that has to be done. That is agatva akhila bhushriyam, not doing the job of putting all these things together. Raja ahamiti shabdena, I am the king, I am the king. Na raja bhavati, the person doesn't become a king just by saying this. Now next shloka is a big chandas, Shardulya Vikredita chandas. Shankaracharya ji uses this big chandas to pack in so much information. Aptoktim khananam tatho parishila dyutkarshanam svikrutim nikshepassamapekshate nahi bahihi shabdaistu nirgacchati tadvad brahmavidopadesha manana dhyanadi bhirlabhyate maya karyatirohitam swamamalam tattvam na duryuktibihi. Very beautifully Shankaracharya ji says that treasure, second line is where I am starting. So second line, first word is saying treasure nikshepaha. Nikshepa, this treasure. Then this nikshepaha aptoktim, having figured out that there is this treasure over here. Aptavakya, a competent person, usually, a guru reveals to us the knowledge of Shastra. But, this treasure is hidden over here. How would I know? There could be a treasure map, or somebody has said that if you dig over here, there is treasure. So that is aptoktim. Aptoktim, either aptavakya, vakya of a person, or a treasure map or something like that. It can be taken that way. So this treasure, without the having a guidance of a person that reveals that the treasure is hidden over here, positively after that, khananam, to excavate, to dig, and then tatha upari, then on top of it, whatever is there, the stones and rocks, removing, shila dyutkarshanam, rocks and stones and mud and everything has to be dug out and removed. Swikrutam sampekshate nahi bahihi shabdaistu nirgachati. Just by saying treasure is here, treasure is here, treasure is here, the treasure by itself is not going to jump out and come in our hands. After hearing that there is treasure buried over here, then I have to get the equipment, I have to dig it, I have to remove everything, I have to remove that box, clean it up. If it is locked, I have to somehow find a way to get the key or break the lock, and in that way the hiding treasure is removed. Just by shabdaistu nirgachati, na, just by seeing the treasure is here, it's not going to come out by itself. Shabda matraistu, by merely calling out the name, the treasure is not going to come out by itself. In the same way, tadvat brahmavidopadesha, the brahmavit, the knower of Brahma, the knower of Brahman, that guru, aptoktim, the very words coming out of the mouth of the knower of the self, that tadvat brahmavidopadeshena, the Brahmavit, he gives upadesh, and that upadesh is to be heard, shravanam. Then mananam, then I have to remove the doubts. Dhyanadibihi nididhyasanam. All our tendencies are to be removed. So by hearing, like I said, ignorance is removed. By reflecting, our doubts are removed, and by meditative contemplation on Brahman removes our ananta koti janmantar accumulated vasanas, tendencies to behave in a particular way is removed. Otherwise, this ego will continuously flare up. So the tendencies, when they are removed, when it is nipped in the bud, the antakarana becomes completely clean. This is how dirt is cleansed from the very kumbha of the very pot of antakarana. So much dirt is there. It is to be removed by shravanam, mananam, nididhyasan. This is sakshat sadhana. This is the way by which Brahman is to be reached. And maya karya tirohitam Swam Amalam. Maya, the pluralistic world, created this prapanch, and Maya Karya, the effect, and the effect of the Maya is what? The prapanch. And what did the prapanch do? Tirohitam, it covered. And it covered my own nature, having tirohitam swam amalam. Swam, one's own, amalam, incredibly pure, tattvam na duryuktibihi, by duryuktibihi, by perverted arguments, that there are people who guarantee Brahmagyan. You do this, you will get Atmagyan. Run away from such a person. Nobody on this planet can guarantee Atmagyan. If you do this, guarantee you will realize Brahman. Such a person is not at all a guru to begin with. Run from such a person. These are perverted arguments. Oh, you do not need to study Bhagavad Gita. Just listen to what I have to say. Such a person cannot be the guru that reveals the Sat Vastu. Cannot be a Sadguru. Clearly mentioned by Adi Shankaracharya ji. Sakshat Shiva Swarup is saying that you are the Shiva Swarup, and that is to be known. It is, Nididyasitavya, Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididyasitavya. It is said that Brahman, Shrotavya, one must have to hear about it. Mantavya, one has to really do manan about it. Nididyasitavya, and do long meditations and remove all residual tendencies. This is the only way. This is Shruti Praman. Shruti says, Atma Vare, Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididyasitavya. This is the only way Atman is to be realized. So in this huge shloka, Naisha Tarkena Matirapaneya, over here Yamadharmaraj, that by the tarka of buddhi we will not be able to realize the self. This is proper Shastra Adhyanan has to be done by a competent guru for a long period of time, and only then it is. Also it is said, Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudo atma na prakashate drushyate tu agraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhihi. Even in Kathopanishad again, Yamadharmaraj, so many ways he has very clearly mentioned. Shravanayapi bahubhir yona labhyata. Continuous hearing. It has to be followed up by mananam, by nididhyasanam. All of this, Shruti Praman. Shankaracharya ji takes the Praman of Shastra to say that only then Atma will be revealed. Tasmat sarva prayatnena bhavabandha vimuktayet svaireva yatnata kartavyaha rogada viva panditaihi. So panditaihi, by wise person, svaihi eva, svaihi by one's own self, yatnataha with great effort, tasmat sarva prayatnena by all effort, yatnataha prayatnataha by effort, by great effort, kartavyaha bhavabandha vimuktaye, for the sake of the liberation from this pluralistic world. And ragadau, just like illness, rogadau, not ragadau, rogadau iva, just like a disease is removed only by medicine, in the same way this shastras, sakshat shastraika, shravanam mananam nididhyasitam, this alone is this praman for Brahma prapti, that leads us to aparoksha jnanam of Brahman. Now we come to the next section, discussion on the questions raised by the student. So we will continue this, our next class we will continue this. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shantihi. Harihi om. Shri Gurubhyo namaha. Harihi om.